Word to your mother, boys and girls. It is your boy Sniper West coming at you here from Picks and Parlays.net. And we are here to talk some March Madness, Tony K and I. Very exciting times. March Madness is upon us, Tony. One of the greatest times of year. For me, it's probably the best sporting event in the entire year. I know the Super Bowl is always a big deal, but the Super Bowl is just one day. It's only 3 hours. March Madness is almost an entire month. You know what I mean? So really looking forward to the tournament. And we are just going to basically sit here and kind of break down the bracket a little bit on this video and what we think and some leans and some thoughts. And fantastic time of year. Tony, what's your plan for March Madness? Are you going to be just sitting at home on your couch drinking some beers? Are you actually working? What's your scenario for March Madness?
That's a very good question. I'm already mapping out which sports bars I'm going to go to. One Thursday, I'll be there probably right after we shoot our morning video. I'll go hang out, bring my laptop with me. Friday, I'll have another one lined up, and I'm going to be watching college basketball all day long. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Looking forward to it.
There you go. I'm out here in Vegas, and you would think that I'd be going to a sports book, which I very well might do. The problem is it's just so crowded, man, for March Madness. I mean, it's a raucous environment. Very, very exciting, but it's just hard to find a seat anywhere. I mean, you got to go 3 hours early just to get a seat. Everyone's reserving booths and everything. In fact, South Point, which is right down the street from me here, they actually have their whole ballroom. Obviously you can sit in the book, but they have a whole ballroom that they set up for March Madness. So you can sit in there, and they have betting kiosks and everything. So, but to be honest with you, I think I'm just going to stay home. I have a pretty neat sportsbook setup. In fact, I'll send you a picture of it later, Tony. But we have 2 giant big screens on the wall right on top of each other. And then I have about 3 tablets as well that I can watch games on. So at any given time, there's 5 games on in the living room at any point. It's not my first rodeo, Tony. I've been doing this a while.
In the past, I used to go down to Atlantic City. Sean Higgs, who's also on Picks and Parlays, he used to come down as well. And we'd get a fan cave. And there'd be 4 or 5 TVs in there, all you could eat and drink. And we just hang out there all day and bet the games. But that was rough. When you're starting at 11 a.m., he would get the fan cave. And by 8 o'clock at night, boy, you're ready for bed.
Yeah.
It's a long day of eating and drinking and watching games. I need a shower.
And then you gotta
watch the game in the room.
Yeah. And then you got to do it Friday and then Saturday.
Yeah. And then all over again.
It is a marathon, not a race, everybody. So anyway, taking a look at the brackets, obviously the 1 seeds, we have Florida, Duke, Michigan, and Arizona. There's a couple lines that are not out just due to the play-in tournament. So Michigan's going to be facing either UMBC or Howard, and Florida will be facing either Prairie View or Lehigh. If you remember, though, I don't know if it was like 10 years ago or whatever. Do you remember when Virginia got upset by UMBC in the first round? I think it's one of maybe 2 of the 16 seed beating the 1 seed. That was Tony Bennett's Virginia way back in the day. And then the next year, they showed up and they won the tournament.
Yeah, I remember that. I think the other team, it was either Princeton or Lehigh. I think that they upset someone. The other 16 over 1.
Oh, interesting. Well, the aforementioned Lehigh. It's either Prairie View or Lehigh that will be facing Florida. So anyway, in regards to Duke, they're laying 28.5, 29.5, depending on what book, you play at. But Duke's really banged up. They're, a lot of injuries and everything. They're playing Siena, who's out of the MAAC. But it's just, 28.5, you got to be just crazy if you're laying those kind of points. I mean, I would either take it or pass in that type of situation. It's just way too many points for me. Arizona, they're laying 29.5 to Long Island. Same situation. With big chalk like that, it's hard for me to find value, Tony, because, 1 bucket either way, it's, is Duke really going to show up and want to prove a point against Siena? I mean, I don't know. They might not care. Might win the game by 10 points and then pull all their guys out so they don't have any more injuries and move on. So,
a lot of people are asking me, who I like for my brackets. And last year we had all 4 number 1 seeds go to the Final 4. And that has only happened twice. It happened in 2008 and it happened last year. So it's very rare that all 4 number one seeds make it to the Final Four. Now, in my bracket, I have 3 out of 4 number one seeds going to the Final Four, and I'll tell you those here in a few minutes. But I have some tips. People like to ask me what are your tips? How do you pick your bracket? So I wrote down a few things we'll discuss here in a few minutes on how to pick your brackets if you're in a contest or a office pool.
Well, now you got me curious. I want to know what all your tips are. Well, we'll get to that in 1 second. But yeah, no, we have some interesting matchups. Obviously, Ohio State's playing TCU. That is the 8 and 9 seed out of the East. The vaunted 5 versus 12 seeds. So we have St. John's playing Northern Iowa. St. John's is the 5, Northern Iowa the 12. We have Vandy and McNeese State. Vandy the 5, McNeese State number 12. I think McNeese State's in Tennessee, so you have 2 Tennessee schools playing there. Wisconsin and High Point, that's a 5-12 out of the West. 5-12 out of the Midwest is Texas Tech and Akron. I don't know what it is, but it always seems like those 12 seeds, Tony, they're always active dogs. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I don't know why. They seem to match up well. Even if they don't win, they seem to, play the opponents tight and cover. One surprising thing I noticed, 35 of the teams this year in the tournament are from a major conference. One of the 4 major conferences. 35 of the teams are either from the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, or the SEC. So that's a record that they have 35 teams from those 4 conferences in the tournament.
Interesting. So in regards to the play-in tournament, the first 4, so we're talking about UMBC. So UMBC is playing Howard, Prairie View, A&M, and Lehigh, Miami, Ohio, and SMU, and Texas and North Carolina State. We are going to find out who Miami, Ohio really is, Tony. Obviously, undefeated all year up until the conference tournaments. And but they're playing SMU. We're going to find out if Miami, Ohio is really all they are cracked up to be. We're going to find out real quick. But anyway, yeah, Tony, let's go ahead and get this. Let's go ahead and
an underdog.
Yeah, definitely. So, Tony, let's go ahead and get to your tips. I'm very interested about these tips of yours for March Madness. And
all right.
To be honest, I haven't even filled out my bracket yet. I'm not quite there. But I'm interested to hear your tips and maybe who you have winning the whole dance.
Yeah, I jotted down a few tips that I like, to pass along. When you're picking your bracket, you can't foresee injuries, foul trouble, poor shooting, officiating comes into play. You never know. But since 1998, there hasn't been a champion lower than a number 4 seed. So keep that in mind when you're filling out your bracket. And also, since 1998, there hasn't been a winner west of Kansas or Baylor. So all the champions have been pretty much East Coast to the Midwest. Nothing further west of Kansas or Baylor. So no UCLAs, no Arizonas, no Oregons. None of those teams have won since 1998. So keep that in mind. 22 out of the last 26 champions were a number 1 or number 2 seed. So don't go picking, 5, 6, and 7s. It doesn't happen. 22 of the last 26 champions, a number 1 or number 2. Like I said earlier, only all 4 number 1s have made it to the Final Four just twice, last year and in 2008. Also, great teams that have won do not have more than 7 losses. So take a look at the teams that have 8 or more losses. You could throw those out for teams that have won the national championship. I personally like teams that play good defense. So look at your top 10 teams in defense. Teams that don't turn the ball over. There are some very good teams, such as Purdue, that's not a number 1, take care of the ball. They're a good free throw shooting team. And also stay away from teams that take 35% or more of their shots from three-point land. It just doesn't do well because they play on the road, neutral courts. You have a bad shooting game, you're out. So don't rely on teams that rely on the three-point shot. So with that said, I look for experienced coaching as well. Coaches that have been to the big dance in the past. I picked up 3 number 1 seeds, Duke, Michigan, and Florida. And my 4th team I like in the Final Four. I just like the way Purdue is playing right now. They were a preseason number 1. think they got hot at the right time. They're playing good defense. They're not turning the ball over. I think they only had 2 turnovers yesterday. They're a very good free throw shooting team. I think 88%. Those are all keys when playing on neutral courts, on the road, and in the big dance. Defense travels well.
There you go. Yeah, I had a big play on Purdue yesterday, and that was a very sharp selection, if I do say so myself. So, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our bracket breakdown. I don't really have one done yet, but Tony K has given you all the tips that you need to win your office pool, your bracket, wherever you're going to be playing. And yeah, hopefully you take all that information and you take it straight to the bank. So anyway, Tony, looking forward to the tournament. It's going to be fantastic. And yeah, any words of wisdom on the way out?
No, hey, enjoy your wings and pizza while you're watching March Madness. And if you have any questions, add them in the comments down below. Wes and I will get back to you. If you have a certain matchup you're unsure about or something about your bracket, feel free to ask us. We'll definitely get back to you.
Please do that. And please also like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. It does help our analytics. And don't forget to go over the website as well, picksandparlays.net, the #1 sports consultant in the industry. Also, we do have a promo code. If you go, if you're a new customer, you go over to the website, you get 25% off with the promo code WELCOME. That will get you 25% off anything over at the site. Okay. And we'll also have I believe we're going to have a St. Patrick's Day special coming up here soon for tomorrow. We're shooting this on the 16th. Tomorrow is March 17th, which would be St. Patty's Day. I'll have to remember to wear my green shirt on our video tomorrow, Tony, or else I'll get pinched by the viewers. Anyway, so hope you guys make some money today, and we will be back with another episode of our regular show tomorrow, and hopefully this video, hopefully you found value with this video, okay? We will see you guys next time. Peace out and keep firing.
Yeah, good luck. Hope someone could land a perfect bracket.